In this project, I'm going to be upgrading these lights to LED versions. These are incandescent. Now, I was able to find the exact same light made by the same company, Optronics, and I got it in LED version. So it's going to just be a simple unscrew the old one, screw the new one in, and the whole patterns and everything will all be the same. Now, I'm sure to get a comment, why don't you just put an LED bulb in and you'd be done with it? And I suppose that's possible, but here at RVproject.com, if we're going to do a project, we want to do it right. And if you look up the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard, FMVSS 108, or Code for Federal Regulations 571-108, that covers the requirements for lights on vehicles, including trailers. And the lights have to be DOT approved. And I don't know of any of the replacement bulbs that have DOT approvals. And the issues are, number one is they have to have a certain luminosity and a radiation pattern of a certain area. Now, no doubt LEDs are probably bright enough, but LEDs' area of illumination could be narrower than what a regular light bulb would be. But regardless, they have to be tested in accordance with SAE standards. And again, I don't know that any of the light bulb replacements that you can find do that. So if you're going to do a project like this, do it right and replace it with a fixture that is DOT approved according to FMVSS 108. That's all I'm saying. And I'll be testing the taillight installation with my RV 7-pin breakout panel that I made last year. This is plugged in to the trailer wiring harness. This would normally plug into the vehicle, but I don't need to use that. And when I turn the selector for the voltmeter to battery, then I can see I've got about 13 volts and the battery light is on. Now this battery actually is coming from the RV battery. As many of you know, the RV battery is available on the 7-pin connector. And with a wire with a banana plug, I can put it on the taillight and then plug the other end to the battery. And you can see the taillight indicator is on. And I can confirm that both the taillight and the clearance lights are on. So that's how I'm going to test the installation when I'm done with it. So the first step is to remove the bezel, and we just need to take our little screwdriver, and there's a little tab in here, we just pop, and then it'll just come off like that. And then we have just 4 screws, and we'll take those off, and we should be able to see the wiring behind it. And I love here how the factory numbskulls, they obviously moved the screw from the original hole to a new hole because they probably overdrove the screw in here first. And one of the things I got to be extremely careful of is pulling these out. I don't want to just yank on the wire, because if this is like the rest of them, these aren't in here very good. Just kind of an arbitrary looking color code here. We've got white to white, and then we got green to black, and then we got brown to green. And even though the color code is backwards, we've got the black wire going to green and green going to brown. It's working. I mean, when I put the brakes on, the brakes show, so that part is working. And one thing I always like to do, even though these are on tight enough, I always like to just strain relief it with a little cable tie. And then the last step I like to do before buttoning this up is I take this glue syringe full of silicone, and it allows me to make a precision bead all the way around. And I think we're done here.